Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Jens Nielsen. I am with Liga in our office in Copenhagen, and with me I have my colleague Daniel from our office in Stockholm. Today we would like to present the new billing model in the Acronis MSP Cyber Protect Cloud. There's been a few changes to the billing models over the last couple of years. So we're very happy to be able to present this new and much more easy to understand billing model. If you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to ask them in the chat or in the Q&A, and just interrupt us at any point and we will do our best to answer your questions. My colleague Daniel will present the billing model, and I will be monitoring the chat. So over to you, Daniel.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to share with you today a short presentation, and it's just about how the pricing works now. It's been changed, and I think we've all seen and experienced some issues in understanding the model, but we can say today that it's actually been changed for the better. It's easier to understand, it's more flexible, and it's going to be a lot easier to go forward. So let's start. Just a couple of slides, and it's still quite easy. We're just about to have two models per workload and per gigabyte. And for partners and customers, you can choose to do a per workload or a per gigabyte, and this entails all functionality. So it's a change from the legacy editions, and this is going to make it a lot easier to understand. So this is an excerpt from the price list. It's all of the products, and as you can see, you have at the top the Acronis Cyber Protect part. You have the per gigabyte, which is just a couple of rows in this price list, and then we have the per workload. And this is still pretty much the same as it's always been. The per gigabyte, you actually pay for the storage used in the cloud or on-prem. And in a per workload, you pay per each server, workstation, or virtual machine that you protect. And then, of course, you still pay, even though it's a bit less, for the storage in Acronis Cloud, for example, but local storage is included. And this, a bit further down, there's something new, which is called advanced functionality, and these are add-ons. And we have the advanced functionality, which is it will cost extra, but it's a free choice to use them or to not use them, and this can be used on a per workload basis. So this works in either the per gigabyte or the per workload model, but this will incur an extra cost on a per workload basis. But you can choose exactly which workstation or server should use the advanced functionality. And the rest, I think, is pretty clear. It's basically just the same functionality and the same setup as before. So one of the major changes is that we're moving, Acronis is moving away basically from the distinction between backup solution only and the Cyber Protect, which is where they're going. So it's just Cyber Protect now. And even in the very basic, there are some included functionality that will not cost anything. And this is a very concise list of that. So basically, you have always a basic security. So you have the anti-ransomware, which is Acronis Active Protection, and it's included. And you have a basic antivirus, anti-malware protection. So these are included. It doesn't cost you anything. It comes with the installation of the agent, and even though you're just offering backup for your customer, you will still have basic security included. And then the management, there's still management parts of this, which is actually included. You have the remote desktop, for example, so you can do remote assistance. And there's also hardware inventory, so you can see what a customer's machine looks like, what's in there, the hardware. And of course, some of the other management is still included in the basic. And they also included pretty recently the data loss prevention, which is basically a device control. So you can control what kind of devices can be connected to a server or workstation. And all of these are included, no extra cost in both models. So again, this is the setup. It's either a per gigabyte model where you pay per storage, and the other model is per workload where you pay a base fee per workstation, server, or virtual machine, and so on. The advanced packs, which I mentioned before, it's an add-on. It can be used in both the per gigabyte and per workload model. And you can pick and choose from these, and you can apply 1, 2, or all of them to every single workload. So this gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility in choosing which machines get the extra functionality. And of course, you don't have to do it at all if you don't want to. Yes, I think there's a short overview again of the advanced packs, which is a completely new functionality. And basically, you have the advanced security, which is another few security parameters you can set. The advanced backup again. It covers more functionality, management. This is also where you have advanced patch management and a few more things. Disaster recovery. I think this is just as it was before. The disaster recovery was an extra cost. And there are coming new functionality to the platform in both file sync and share, and in later, obviously, there's advanced automation, which I think is quite an interesting future. And again, let's look at this from a partner point of view. You can select and use all of these advanced packs, and you do it from the management console. And on a client level, and you can choose to protect one, several, or all. You can use all of these advanced packs in both licensing models. And of course, you can enable or disable these very easily in the management console. So this is a really pick and choose what you need. And I think this was a very short overview. I think it's worth to mention that over next coming months, it would be a good idea to migrate customers to the new model or the new editions and leave the old legacy editions behind. It will make it easier to grasp what you have and how to invoice the customers as well. So do we have questions at this point?
Yes, Daniel, we have seen from time to time that MSPs have customers that are utilizing the old legacy models, and you are still able to create customers on the old legacy models. What would the result be on the invoice that Liga produces if an MSP have clients scattered throughout the various licensing models?
Yes, I think the main impact would be that it would be harder to understand what you're paying for and to correlate the information in the invoice received with the reports that you get from the management console. I think we've seen examples where actually there are some products that aren't anymore in the price list, but since you're using legacy editions, we actually need to invoice those as well, which could make it very confusing.
So the solution here?
Yes, I think that the solution is to, as quickly as possible, migrate to the new models. And just as mentioned, there are just two models, basically, Cyber Protect per workload and Cyber Protect per gigabyte. And in the management console, and maybe I should actually show you what it looks like. And in the management console, you would going to a customer who has a legacy edition, you would see this large information plate, and it will tell you that it's time to change to a new edition. And it also mentions that after 1st of July this year, you won't be able to assign a legacy edition to a new customer or switch to a legacy edition. So legacy editions are, as it says, it's legacy. This is going to disappear in the future, and it would be best to upgrade or to migrate to the new model as soon as possible.
So that is our recommendation from Liga. Do convert your existing clients to the new model as soon as possible in order to make life easier for everyone. We have a couple of questions in the chat. One of the questions is not really related to the pricing model, but to the fact that Acronis has established a new data center in Denmark. So the question is if it's possible to move existing customer data from the EU2 data center to the Danish data center. Daniel, do you have any suggestions?
Yes, that was the first question that came to my mind as well as soon as I saw the notice about this, and we don't know yet. We haven't been informed, and I'm not sure exactly when this will be in place. But obviously, they're working very hard to establish new data centers, and we'll have to wait and get back to you on that.
Right. So another question, if there is any overview where you can input the various editions and customer data and get recommendations on which model to move a customer to in the new pricing model.
I think that the best idea here is to use the calculation. There is a spreadsheet. It's available in the partner portal, where you can basically just put in the data, how many users your customer have, how many workstations you want to protect or servers, and so on, and how much data, and you will get a pretty good idea of the final the total cost. And you can also compare editions, so you can look at it from a per gigabyte model, or you can do it from a per workload model. And this spreadsheet is available in the partner portal.
And I can add, we are happy to send it out also if anyone needs it. Right. And one last thing to emphasize here is probably what Daniel initially introduced, that you are able as an MSP to assign different customers to different billing plans. So If you have one customer, it would be more profitable to go on a per workload and another customer on a per gigabyte plan. This is perfectly fine. It's only when you are adding the advanced options, these are always invoiced on a per workload basis. So I think this pretty much summarizes what we had to tell you today. Now, all the information regarding the license model is available from the Acronis partner portal. It's also available, of course, upon request from Liga. So feel free to get in touch with us if you have any questions at all. I can see that there are no more questions in the chat. So with this, I will just say thank you for participating and look forward to speak to you soon. Thank you.